Hello everybody, this is Dr. Novak. Today I want to talk to you about kitty litter at about $5 a bag for 20 pounds of it, or you can get a bag of oil dry for about $9 for a 30-pound bag. And is it really worth saving the extra money versus buying a product off the shelf like this Flourite by Seachem? Now, Flourite by Seachem has been around a long time. I've used it in my antique aquarium maybe 15, 20 years ago. So it's been around a long time. We're going to get into the pros and cons of both of them in this video so you can make an astute judgment. Do I want to go with kitty litter or oil dry, or would I want to go with Flourite? Okay, first thing I want to talk about is Flourite. This is the old-fashioned natural Flourite. Flourite comes in Flourite black, comes in red. A lot of people like to use the red. But this is just the Flourite that I used maybe 15, 20 years ago. Okay, and I use it for years. And there's a few videos on it that people have asked Seachem, hey, what's in this Flourite? Okay, it's clay, but what's in it? Is there anything that can hurt our fish? Is there anything that can hurt humans? And basically, they didn't want to tell them. And they made a big stink over it. And I'll leave the video link below in case you want to watch the video on the guy using Flourite. And he made a big stink out of it and said, well, then I can only assume there's something dangerous in your product because you don't want to tell us what's in it. And they finally contacted him and said, you know, it's proprietary and we don't want to say because people could go out and get it themselves. So we want to keep it a secret. And to be honest with you, all it has is magnesium and stuff like that in it. Things that basically kitty litter has or a lot of your other clays have. So it's really no big deal. It comes in a 15-pound bag. And versus kitty litter comes in 20-pound or 25-pound. Oil dry usually comes in a 30-pound bag. This costs anywhere between $20 to $30 a bag for 15 pounds. And kitty litter costs about $5 for a 20-pound bag. And oil dry, maybe $9 for a 30-pound bag. So it's considerably cheaper than this Flourite is to get kitty litter. But I am going to show you in this video, I'm going to clean both of them. Now there's one thing we have to remember about both of these is they never clean 100%. In other words, no matter how much you clean them, there's still going to be particulate matter and there's still going to be, like with the Flourite, you'll have red coming off of it. Kitty litter, you'll have gray water coming from it. This, you'll have red water coming from it. So I'm going to show you about how long it takes to clean both of them. But you can never clean both of them 100% clean. I mean, it's the same way with sand. I use sand. It's cheap. But to clean sand 100% clean, no. Never been able to do it. I've cleaned sand for 30 to 45 minutes, and I still could not get it absolutely clean. Same way with these products, Flourite or kitty litter. You're not going to get them 100% clean. You'll get them a lot cleaned, but not 100%. Now, since I've used this product, I must say that over time, any of the red that leached out of them went away. It finally got expelled out of the water. The aquarium pumps picked it up eventually, and any redness that you had in the tank went away. I've never had a problem with it. I'm being honest with you. I've used it for years. I like the way it looked, but I personally did not find it to be a big advantage over adding kitty litter. And I'm just being honest with you. Because this particular substrate is very, very hard, almost like if you were going to use a substrate made of little pebbles and stones and stuff, okay? Basically, it's that hard of a clay. almost like a clay pot that's been all broken up into small pieces. Okay, it's that hard. Where on the other hand, if you get kitty litter is hard, but yet with enough pressure, you can squeeze the little kitty litter granules. Unlike these, if you try to squeeze them, you can't. They're like little rocks, you cannot squeeze them. So they're almost like stone. And I think over time they just became inert and basically became stones. And I found nothing advantage of them. Okay, the first thing you want to do if you have a lot of this to clean, a lot of substrate to clean, is I like using these baskets. These are nothing but water lily baskets. You buy them at any hardware store, garden centers. You can buy them. You can order them online. This one's 7 by 7 by 11. It makes a great colander to clean out stones. The holes are just the right size. And you pour the kitty litter or your fluorite in here, and you get a garden hose and rinse it down. There was one thing I did want to bring up. I did a little test with kitty litter, and what I found with the whiskers and tails, I used it for a while, then I took it and I put it in a basket and let it dry completely out. If you remember when I used the Walmart kitty litter, remember I did a video how it really turned into almost a brick and you had to break it apart because that kitty litter was not baked. But this kitty litter, I want to see what would happen if you used it, put it in a basket, you let it dry out if you want to use it at a later date, and it did not turn into a brick. It stayed, the consistency of the kitty litter was no different than if you pulled it out of a bag. The only difference was it was clean. It dried and kept its form. Where the Walmart kitty litter that wasn't baked just turned into a big brick and you actually had to hit it on the floor and break it open. So that was the difference I noticed of the two kitty litters, whether you have baked and non-baked. The kitty litter that you use is not going to be as hard as the fluorite. The fluorite, like I said, once all the red and stuff leaves it, it becomes like a stone. You can't ever squeeze it. You could probably get a hammer and break it. Unlike the kitty litter, you can literally, if you squeeze hard enough between your fingers, you can actually squeeze it. It's not real hard. That clay is not. So let's get into the comparison. Okay, 1 bag of kitty litter will fill up this container about 3 times. And as you can see, I squirt it down with the garden hose, and to clean it to the point where it's halfway decent, as you can see how it fills up the basket, the water does. It doesn't go through the kitty litter very easily, as you can see. But as time goes on and it gets cleaner and cleaner, the water will go and pass through it very easily. So you have to clean it. How long does it take to clean a basket of kitty litter like you're watching me do here? It's going to take at least 5 minutes. Okay, so after about 5 minutes of cleaning it like this, then it comes out decent. And as you can see, a lot of waste, a lot of small particulate matter comes off the kitty litter. That's why if you go out and you decide, oh, I need only 1 bag of kitty litter or 2 bags of kitty litter to give me a ½ inch of kitty litter, you may want to, if you clean it like I am, you may want to buy an extra bag or 2 because you may be left with about only 50 or 60% of the kitty litter. And as you can see, a lot of it gets wasted. The little bitty particulate matter gets wasted down the drain or on the ground. And as you can see, as it now is getting cleaner and cleaner and cleaner, the water is going through it easier and easier because the little bitty particulate matter is coming out of the kitty litter. Now, like I said, this is the baked kitty litter, not the kitty litter that Walmart sells that is not baked. Because as you can see, it looks like little stones, and it is basically almost little stones that have been heated. But doing it with a high pressure hose, look how lower it is compared to when I first started out when it was nice and dry. And what is left on the ground, that little fine stuff, you don't want that anyhow. That's not going to do you any good. You want the bigger stuff that's left behind in the basket. Now we're going to see just what the Flourite does. And it's all done. It's been about 5 minutes. Okay, this is the Flourite. And as you can see, look at the dust that came out when I put the Flourite. You notice how it doesn't fill the basket as much as the kitty litter because it's only a 15-pound bag. So right now we know it weighs more than kitty litter. Okay, so that means it's got more consistency to it. Now we're going to clean it out. And as I look at it and squeeze it, it's like a rock. So it's a very, very hard clay compared to the kitty litter that's been baked, which is a lot softer. See, look at that. I can't even break it with my fingers. So this is going to be a harder clay. There's not much you can do about that, but let's see about cleaning it. The big thing about cleaning it is everybody complains about one thing. You never can get it clean. This is one of those products you can only go so far cleaning it, and then you have to throw the towel and say, okay, I've done enough, it's clean enough. Okay, now it's time to start rinsing the basket of Flourite. Look at all the red coming off of it. This is the big complaint, no matter what Flourite you buy, that people say this red that comes off of it just never seems to go away, no matter how hard you try to clean it. Another complaint was if you take it and you mix it like with your hands or something, it gets smaller and smaller. It starts degrading. So there's only so much you can mix it. And they said the complaints I have is you start out with 15 pounds, and if you keep trying to mix it and try to get it real clean, it doesn't quite have the same amount of consistency as it did when it was brand new. Okay, so I put it up on this grate so we can kind of see how it's running out. And it looks clean by the eye, but I can tell you right now it's not 100% clean. It still has red pigment micro dust, as you can see on the bricks there. It still has that in it. And that's, I guess, the big complaint that people have about the Flourite. Now, it's supposed to be great for plants. Of course, it's clay. Clay attracts ammonium ions out of the water, and we know our plants are looking for ammonia. If you remember my test that I did with kitty litter and the pots in the antique aquarium, you'll know that it does a great job. Okay, so what we're looking at here, look at it. It still has that red in it. Even though it seemed to be rinsing clear, it's still there. I guess that's the complaint that people have. Now this is 15 pounds in the aquarium here, and it doesn't cover very much. So a 15-pound bag doesn't go far. Now, in the aquarium, I have about 3 bags of kitty litter above the plenum. All cleaned out, all put in there. But I want to put the Flourite in there to give it a nicer color for the substrate. As the goldfish and everything will mouth it and spit it out, the two substrates may become mixed up a little bit, but that's not a problem. because once this fluorite, it's done with its red and leaching out the red coloring, it won't do it anymore. But as you can see, in some parts, it's no more than a 1/4 inch thick, and in other parts, it could be, 7/8. So a 15-pound bag, and this tank is 18 wide by 36 long, isn't really going to give you much at all. And I can see now by looking at this is very expensive. If you think about it, how many bags of this fluorite you need for a tank like this? I ordered 3, but I can, the price is wow. And I can see where people are honestly going with other substrates like sand or something else because, at $20 or $30 a bag, you got 3 bags of fluorite, $90, and it's just clay. So that is the reason I kind of like going with the kitty litter as your base. As you can see, there's the base. That's about 1 inch, maybe 1.5 inches thick. That is, okay? And then I'm going to go with the fluorite, 3 bags on top of it. And that's it. There's no sand. There's nothing else I'm going to add to it. No laterite. The fluorite will have a lot of iron in it. Plus, I'm going to add some flourish iron to the whole thing, and that will add iron to it. But I thought I would show you that if you decide, and here's the kitty litter. Let me get this in focus for you, and I'll show you exactly what I meant by there it is. And if you squeeze it real hard, you see it does break apart if you squeeze it. See that? It did squeeze down, where if you get this, you squeeze it, no matter how hard you squeeze it, it just doesn't go down. The Walmart, on the other hand, just turns into mush. Basically, if you grab it, it's just mush, so because it hasn't been baked. But this, if it is baked clay, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, it is very, very hard, almost like a clay pot. So I thought I would do this video because the goldfish aquarium out in the Lanai is being redone. And I'm going to go through that, what I did and all, and explain to you. But I wanted to show you the substrates because that's something you're going to want to get ahead of time. You may want to start buying your substrates and preparing even a month or two. Like me, I got 3.5 bags of kitty litter. I've been sitting on them for the last 6 months. And I should be getting the other 2 bags of the fluorite today. But this just goes to show you that no matter how well you clean it, it's still going to leave some residue. So you got to make sure you have good pumps. It's a decent material. I've used it before. I will be honest with you. It made a nice substrate, but did it help grow plants extraordinary well? For me, and I'm going to be honest, no. Plants grew, but I felt the plants grew better in kitty litter. Now, that's just my opinion. You may have a different opinion. If you do, put it in the comments that you found out that the fluorite was very superior in growing plants. But for myself, I found that adding a kitty litter as a substrate, plant your plants through your substrate like this, and then into the kitty litter. The kitty litter attracted more ammonia and everything, more ions into it. So, and the plants grew great. And I'm going to tell you right now, I took the tank apart and I had some plants in there, crypt, and the roots did go into the plenum. Okay. Very healthy roots, all white, beautiful white roots, just absolutely great. So nothing was black, nothing at all. I will get into that into another video and show you pictures. But that's about 1.5 inches of kitty litter, and it took at least 3 bags just for this 18 by 36 bottom on this plenum. That took at least 3 bags to do that. And now I'm going to add 3 bags of the fluorite. So that's it for this video. Wanted to show you that. Subscribe because there's more coming up. I'm going to show you more that I'm doing to it. Until next time, this is Dr. Novak. Thank you for watching.